Hey, Steve Basic Architect out here for the build show. So we're out at our Riverside project today, and what I have here, some of you might be familiar with it, some of you might not, but these are basically hold downs for shear panels. So the typical application, you can see it has a metal strap for, I don't know, this is probably about 18 inches with a whole series of holes. Every one of these holes will get filled with nails, but the piece on the bottom here where it's slightly bent in, and they'll probably bend that in a little bit more, but notice the big hook, it has some dimples here. From here down, that's what gets embedded in the concrete. And then this comes up the outside of the wall, gets nailed off to the shear wall. That's the portal of the garage. And what that basically does is it keeps that wall from racking due to wind load, seismic loads, basically any horizontal shear load. When this wall wants to traverse left or right, this is what keeps that plate from ripping up off of the off the foundation. And the anchor bolts certainly assist, but this is in addition to the standard anchor bolts here. We'll have a couple anchor bolts, but this is in addition to that. Now, the little twist here is typically these get placed right here, and there'll be a pair of them. There'll be one on the outside of the wall, one here near the opening, spread out. Like I said, they get embedded down in the concrete to about there. But one of the issues of putting them on the outside of the wall is you get a lot of spalling here, and you can see, even if I bend this in a little, this isn't getting a whole lot of concrete out of that plane. So the builder, and just discussing it with him, he likes to put it on the inside of the wall. That means that this back face is now 2.5 inches in from the outside of the concrete wall. So this part of it gets full embedment down into the bottom of the wall. And we don't have that spalling, as well as all of our siding and shear and all of that stuff. Our shear panel is going to lay nice and flat, and we'll just put that on the inside. Now, what we're going to do is on the inside, we'll continue the shear panel, and we'll actually plywood on the inside of that with a 1/2 inch piece of plywood. This will get attached to a bunch of 2x in the wall system, but we'll go back to the studio and we'll talk a little bit more about how these things work and the whole idea of a garage door portal and the shear system behind it. So see you back at the studio.